Those who aren't near their natural death now have the right to seek medical assistance in dying.
I do advanced contraception and abortion as well as gender hormones.
In fact, I was anti-abortion until I went to college.
Welcome back to the show. This is Anna and you're watching Anna Speaks Out. Thanks for being here. So in the last couple videos I've been showing you some of the stuff that I've gotten from the wellness store where everything is made in America and is clean and natural, safe for yourself and your home. And today there's this hand soap. It's foaming hand soap, pomegranate, basil scent. And this has something in it called Solugard, which is a formula that is made by the store. It's a botanical disinfectant. So I think that's really cool too, that you can have disinfecting hand soap without harsh chemicals. Because I have really sensitive hands, and if I use like the antibacterial soap that you get from a typical store, my hands literally get so dry that they bleed. So this so far has been a really good alternative for me. And my husband also really liked the scent. He told me that yesterday. So the reports that I've seen recently about this new Disney short film called Reflect, and the main character, who is an overweight young girl, has inspired me to make this video, not just about that, but about a much larger issue that I think it is probably just one arm of. So from what I gather from people who have seen this, because I will not pay for anything Disney related to watch it myself, based on the reputation that they have surrounding bad things happening to children. It's reported to be about a young girl who feels intimidated to stay in a ballet class because she's ashamed of her weight and how she looks in the mirror, but she decides to just love her fat body and stay in ballet, and that's really it. Also, did you notice that the ad that they had on this video was for Uber Eats? I find that kind of interesting also. And this bothers me, of course, because it is unhealthy to be overweight. You know, it's one of the leading preventable causes of death out there. If this little show had been about a girl who is overweight, loves to do ballet, and is feeling insecure about continuing to do it, as it is, but if she was encouraged to keep doing it and then also love herself enough to get healthy in general by eating better as well, just having overall better habits, that would be something I would be all for. I did ballet for a couple years as a teenager, and it's great exercise. It builds strength, it builds confidence, endurance, all kinds of things. It's a great thing to do. But it's not great to tell somebody simply that it's okay to be overweight and that's it. Just love yourself, it's okay to be overweight. That's not where the story ends. You know, that is encouraging somebody into habits that could lead to their early death. And this just seems to be an overall theme that I've seen at least throughout the US, Canada, and Europe for quite a few years now. Check out what I mean.
There's new hope tonight for Canadians suffering with intolerable pain. A bill expanding access to assisted death has received royal assent. There's new hope tonight. Those who aren't near their natural death now have the right to seek medical assistance in dying.
Hello. In 2015, the Supreme Court of Canada struck down the country's ban on assisted suicide as unconstitutional. It rejected fears that the ruling would introduce a slippery slope into killing the vulnerable as being based on anecdotal examples. The following year, the Canadian Parliament legalised euthanasia for those who suffer from a terminal illness whose natural death was reasonably foreseeable. 7 years on, Canadian police are investigating the assisted suicide of a 61-year-old woman after her daughter said she was not able to provide consent due to her mental health. One woman was killed because she couldn't find affordable housing to suit her medical needs. Others because it was cheaper than getting the treatment they needed.
This is so sad and disturbing to me that this is what their government is offering, is to assist them in death rather than, you know, provide free mental health counseling or anything like that. Especially the way that the news anchor woman was talking about it was just so disturbing, the way she was so casual and acted like it was a positive thing. Totally crazy. And the thing is, God, the Lord Jesus Christ, is the one who created everything, including you, who gave you your life, and he has full capability of healing you from any illness or any infirmity, pain and suffering that you have. But it requires faith. If you just simply have faith in God and ask in faith without doubting, sometimes he will heal you. But faith is so necessary, because if he were to just heal you and you didn't even know that it was God who did it, you would think it was something outside of God, and you wouldn't be able to have the faith that gives you salvation eternally, salvation from ultimate death. So this is just something very important to consider. But let's continue on with the horror show, shall we? To anyone who has ever said that nobody celebrates abortion, I beg the question, what is this absolute heresy and abomination right here?
Abortion is normal. Love yourself.
Abortion rights safe and free. Legal, safe and free.
We are going to make sure that as many people as possible know that abortion pills are available in all 50 states, regardless of what happens with SCOTUS.
People all over the country and all over the world need to know that they can have abortions if they want to.
Abortion pills are in our hands and we won't stop.
And I've had 2 different women tell me that the men they were with pressured them to keep the baby, and I'm like, fuck that guy. To me, to be like, hey, you know how your whole body's changing right now and you might die? I don't care if you don't want it to happen. I do, because my seed is in you.
What is unfathomable to me is a father not caring about whether his child lives or dies. That is unfathomable. And also, people like this who seem so incredibly self-centered that they can't even stop to think for a second that it makes sense for a father to want his child to live.
And the reporter is asking a very good question. I want you to take a listen to Stacey's response to this question, all right?
Believes in their human rights.
You are a Christian. You are the daughter of 2 retired United Methodist pastors. Some Christians, as you know, they believe that life begins at conception. I'm just wondering how you think about your faith.
I've thought about my faith a great deal. In fact, I was anti-abortion until I went to college. And there I met a friend who has my shared faith values, but we started having conversations about what reproductive care and abortion care really is. In fact, I was anti-abortion until I went to college.
My name is Michelle Forcier, and I have a medical degree from University of Connecticut, residency, University of Utah Pediatrics, and I've worked for a number of different Planned Parenthoods for 20 years. I do advanced contraception and abortion, as well as gender hormones.
I find it very telling that this woman has worked both in the fields of abortion, terminating life in the womb, and giving puberty-blocking hormones to children. There's definitely a connection there. Watch on to see.
At what age does the medical transition begin with medication?
So medical affirmation begins when the patient says they're ready for it. So that could be a kiddo who is just starting puberty and panicking because they're getting breast buds or their penis is getting bigger and busier and they're worried about all kinds of masculine changes. And that way, puberty blockers, which are completely reversible and don't have permanent effects, are wonderful because we can put that pause on puberty. Just like if you were listening to music, you put the pause on and we stop the blockers and puberty would go right back to where it was, the next note in the song, just delayed that period of time.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which has actually been used to chemically castrate sex offenders.
You know what? I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview because it seems like it's
that?
going in a particular direction.
Well, you're a medical professional,
I am a medical professional.
so you don't want to talk about the drugs that you give to kids, or?
Again, I'm a physician and I use medication. You're choosing exploitive words. Drugs I give to kids.
I'm choosing a
chemical
word that was
castration.
in a dictionary.
That's not a correct term for puberty blocking.
I could like look it up on my phone, but I'm pretty sure if I looked it up, like,
You can look it up on your phone.
it says medical definition: the administration of a drug to bring about a marked reduction in the body's production of androgens and especially testosterone.
And I'm saying, as a pediatrician who takes care of hundreds of these kids, when you use that terminology, you are being malignant and harmful.
I mean, there are some who would say that giving chemical castration drugs to kids is malignant and harmful.
Yeah, I would be one of those people. But do you see the overall theme here with all of these things? Fewer births, fewer pregnancies to begin with, assistance in dying, and promoting obesity, which is one of the leading preventable causes of death. It all points to the same conclusion of fewer people on Earth. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and share with somebody else who would also find it interesting. Leave your comments below and we'll all have a conversation. And if you really enjoyed it, check out the description for several different ways that you can support. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you are in, and I will see you next time. Bye.